I've spent 2 hours with Doom the Dark Ages and I have some thoughts. Can it jump over the high bar it set for itself with Doom Eternal? Let's rip and tear. Doom the Dark Ages is making some changes to the series' beloved format. The 2 entries in the Doom series since its successful 2016 reboot displayed very different design orthodoxies. The verbs, the player actions most commonly performed, changed dramatically game to game. As Doom the Dark Ages game director Hugo Martin himself puts it, each game can be boiled down to 3-word descriptions. Doom 2016 was run and gun, Doom Eternal was jump and shoot. In Doom the Dark Ages, it's stand and fight. I could feel this new change in direction right away. Though I appreciated the preview build handing me my emotional support shotgun up front, the second thing it handed me was a heavy metallic shield. The shield was impervious to incoming fire, encouraging me to march right up to my foes and invade their personal space. Having placed myself at uncomfortably close range, I had a few options for what to do with the shield. I could use it to barge into enemies, obliterating the weaker ones, or briefly stunning the heavies. I could also use the whirling buzzsaw on its outer edge to briefly hold single targets in place while I dealt with other threats. Enemies became unwilling dance partners, grabbed, battered, and tossed around, or otherwise held still until I'm ready to deal with them. The shield's crowd control utility was further extended when facing enemies holding shields of their own. Firing at enemy shields heats them up until they're glowing red hot. Once they turn red, I can fling the shield at them. The impact causes the molten shield to explode, killing the bearer and anyone unlucky enough to be standing near them. Pop one shield bearer in a line of others and they'll all go up at once, taking scores of enemies with them. But the shield's major utility is as a counter, rebuking strong enemy attacks and sending them back twice as hard. The ability to perfectly parry incoming green-coloured enemy attacks is vital when tackling stronger foes. And this is where that stand and fight design philosophy really started coming through. Dealing with especially heavy enemies means wearing them down through counters, and frequently that meant standing right in front of them. I had to keep my wits about me though, because large enemies attack in patterns full of unblockable red attacks that must be dodged. This means, though you're planted in front of the big bad, the fights take on the feel of a shoot-'em-up like Ikaruga. Because of all this incoming fire, my instinct was to put some distance between me and the big bad, but the game wanted the opposite. It wanted defiance. It wanted me to stand in a demon's path and give it the finger. And who am I to argue? Doom the Dark Ages further sells the sense that I was moving through a rhythmic, highly gory dance. The Doomslayer's cranky, fuming footsteps crunch in 4/4 time like a heartbeat underscoring the entire game. This emphasises the game's music. Doom the Dark Ages score is provided by production duo Finishing Move, who replaced previous composer Mick Gordon. Though I only heard a sample platter of the songs they've brought to the table, I felt like their take on the material felt more workmanlike overall. However, it did still do the job. Something that helped Doom 2016 and Eternal stand apart was the way the music put the player in a kind of combat trance, senses returning only when the pulse-pounding metal would recede upon clearing a room. I still got that same feeling here, and I think that's a sure sign the game is doing something right. If it can still lull me into that combat trance as I sweep around a room like an enraged ballroom dancer, then some of Gordon's residual magic must still be there. Beyond this, Doom the Dark Ages introduces a few new changes to level-to-level gameplay, including some enjoyable sequences in which the Doomslayer gets to ride a dragon with machine guns mounted on its back in aerial dogfights, and pilot a huge anime robot. The vertical slice we played carved these sections out of the primary campaign so the press could try them. As such, I can't say for sure if they have a bigger part to play in the game or if they're just giving me a Doom Gundam for a few minutes as a treat. I suspect it's the latter. If a couple of hours with Doom the Dark Ages has convinced me of anything, it's that it is right to explore the bloody space it has created with this modern version of the franchise. The additions it makes feel solid, and are perhaps a response to criticisms that Eternal felt a little too fast and flighty. The shield adds an interesting wrinkle, giving me defense without diminishing its desire for me to play aggressively. We'll see if it can stick the landing when Doom the Dark Ages launches in May.